From TMP to TTNG, for sure the cure and those tired meme jeans. Helican Sella and the promise ring. Sunny day, real estate and rights this spring. Prince Twinkle Daddies help keep the dream alive. I constantly thank God for Algernon and Remo Christie Front Drive. Mineral, snowing, high tide hotelier and more. Rio Limo only consists of the DC emotive hardcore. But you gotta admit, Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. You gotta admit that Kyle and Ellie really on that emo bullshit. Have you heard the tired and disavowed lonely word? Have you heard the disavowed and lonely word? Have you heard the lonely disavowed word? Have you heard the tired and lonely disavowed word?
Go for it.
Okay. This is episode 44 of the E Word. This is Kyle recording here in Madison, Wisconsin. Glad to be recording again. It's been over a month. I'm joined by Ellie, who's in Austin, Texas. And Ellie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. R.I.P. Pop Smoke. I feel like we should get that out of the way. That just happened this morning, or not even this morning, like this afternoon or something. Like, yeah, fucking wild. He's like the third big rapper to die before like 21, like within the last 2 years. It's fucking wild.
We have a special guest on this episode. We caught him in the middle of a press junket that he put himself on, and that is Kory Gregory from Prince Daddy and The Hyena.
'Tis me. Hi.
This is crazy. I feel like we've almost had you on this podcast like three times.
Yeah.
Yeah. First
and
time
the
I
one
saw,
time you get me on is the time I'm the busiest.
Because I remember seeing you in Austin the first time I saw you.
Have we met before?
I think yes, at the Roswell Kid Show in Austin. I was the person you played like 3 new songs, and then you were like, "How was that?" And I was like, "They sounded fucking great, you asshole."
I'm sorry for not remembering. I have a really bad memory. Very bad.
I'm like okay that you forgot about it, because after the show I was like, "What do you know about our emo?" And you were like, "I know nothing about emo Reddit." So
I've grown to know about it because our name gets dropped there so much that I feel like I was like kind of like morally obligated to peek my face in, you know?
Yeah,
so I know more now. I think
we used to be associated with it, but no longer. I think we're just like trying to distance ourselves. And then there was the most recent show you did in Austin, the headlining one. My fiance was the one with the pink hair who was like jumping up and down and singing every word super enthusiastically.
I like that. Hell yeah.
I don't think I talked to you at the show that I saw. The only time I've seen you was at JJ's in Milwaukee, which is like
the basement show.
Yeah, and
I do remember that.
There's like a full set of it on YouTube, and I think a lot of the new songs were premiered or like made their internet debut via that.
I know I lost my life as in a video because we were playing. We had Jake from Counterintuitive filling in on drums for that tour.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was the only time it's ever happened. That was a very fun time. Yeah.
It was crazy because there was like 10 people at that show.
It was P. Daddy, Runaway Brother, and Looming, right?
Yep.
Great tour. Yeah, there was not a lot of people there, but that was fun. That had to be the first time we ever played there before. What was the name of that city? Like Franklin?
Yeah, it's Franklin, Wisconsin, which is like 20 minutes away from Milwaukee.
That was probably the first and only time we've ever played there.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, Ellie, you have some vamping that you teased?
I guess I'm just really glad to finally be fucking recording again. It might like knock me loose out of like election brain that I've been succumbing to. I'm like ending every fucking sentence in real life with like Bernie 2020. Like it's getting bad. there's been some like big developments in the last month, but I think one thing that we should acknowledge off the bat that we're going to do an episode on for sure is that 100 greatest emo songs of all time list.
All right.
Yeah, which was like written by like half people who are our friends, like Ian Cohen and David Anthony and Nina Corcoran. And
I got a notification that were we in there at all? I didn't see that yet.
I believe you were supposed to be, but there was like a huge fucking editing process. It's been written since like January of last year, and there's been like artists getting added and dropped constantly, and all sorts of rewrite. Yeah, we definitely need to do an episode on that list because it's like half surprisingly really good and half like what the fuck, this was designed specifically to troll me. The third thing is, I guess I should just plug that pretty soon here I got an interview coming out. Todd Burns from Music Journalism Insider interviewed me for that newsletter, which is fucking nuts since I only have 720 followers on Twitter. I'm low level. That's all my vamping.
I did a Control F for Prince Daddy in this list, and you are mentioned as
Is it positive?
and while that excitement around once brimming traditionally minded subgenres like twinkle and sparkle punk died down towards the end of the decade, Glass Beach, Prince Daddy, and Origami Angel, to name a few, invigorated a new generation in 2019.
Oh, that's good company to be in. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't really even mentioned what this episode is. It's the 2018 episode. We are not speaking to the winner of 2018. They passed. The winner of the 2018 A Decade Under the Influence series is Foxing with Near My God. We'll get to that
It makes
in a
total
moment.
sense they passed.
Especially there was a tweet that came out like a few days ago that was like, if I wanted to be too emo for indie and too indie for emo, I simply would have made Nearer My God. And I was like, yeah. That's exactly how both of us have explained that album.
Wait, repeat that tweet for me again.
Foxing tweeted, if I wanted to make an album that was too indie for emo and too emo for indie, I would have seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Foxing.
Great tweet.
Yeah. And the 2017 winner, we might like do eventually an episode with Jade from Oso. Like if
My
we
man.
ever, if we ever manage to
My
nail down a
fucking
time.
boyfriend.
It just
Can I
it just
swear?
didn't fucking
Yes,
line
yes.
up. No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No hard feelings towards Jade.
That is my man.
Yeah, medium rare feelings towards Foxing. I don't know. We'll see.
Medium
I like
rare.
Foxing. I'm a big fan of Foxing. They won? What did they win?
Kyle.
How do these win? I'm sorry. I'm not smart.
So
we do polls.
Oh, okay. So
What do you-
y'all didn't pick Foxing.
no.
Well, if it means anything, spoiler alert, that was probably my favorite record on that list. I think. So
I feel
would've
like you have
voted
so
for
many
Near My
friends on this list that it would have been hard to divorce your feelings. For the
God. Nah, it's not
records.
hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's not easy if it's easy if the record is as good as Near My God.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Kyle really likes that record. No comment from me.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get into it, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
this is about. That's
So-
what we're here for
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah.
So we usually start these year episodes with where were you in that year? So Kory, where were you in 2018? What was going on? How was the scene? What were you listening to? How was your personal life, etc.?
Actually, probably. I mean, I don't remember specific. I'm bad at remembering where I was during years, but if you put it in terms of when albums came out, I was on tour with my ex-fiance with Foxing, actually.
Oh shit.
Fun fact, yeah. So that's that's a good mention, right?
Yeah.
For this episode, yeah. I was just tagging along for the first half of the Near My God tour with Mississippi. It was
Oh,
Mississippi,
yeah.
Bad Boys, and Foxing. Yeah, I didn't do
Rap
anything.
Boys,
I
shout
I
out.
just hung out.
What were you recording in 2018, or did that all happen in 2019?
You know what? I feel like probably. I'm trying to think. I think we recorded in January, so it was probably January 2019. I don't know, dude. I got a small brain. I got a real small brain. We recorded January in 1 year. I don't know. Yeah.
Was it the year that it
We
came
definitely
out?
recorded. I don't know. I know for a fact we recorded a record. That definitely happened. I remember it clear as day. This is
rocks.
gonna be rough.
This rocks. This rocks.
This rules.
Okay, Kory. This is totally off topic, but what has been like the most commonly asked question on your 21 interview run?
How many fucking people have asked you where you got your name?
Yeah. There's three. There's three that I'm like, all right. I don't think I want to answer these anymore. Actually, not to be a diva, but I think I'm done answering these ones. It's where'd you get your name? Which that one really sucks because our thing is not telling people and making up stories on the spot like that are completely bullshit. So to keep coming up like 5 times a day to come up with a different fictional story is not easy for me. Again, because I got the small brain. So yeah, there's that one, and then there's me having to first. Also, I want to make it clear that I'm like not dissing these questions because if I was an interviewer, I'd ask these questions too. So like, if any of you interviewers are listening, like, keep asking those questions because they're good questions to know. I'm not shitting on you. I just have done a lot of podcasts the past couple of days. But yeah, me explaining how Prince Daddy started and how I met the rest of the band. That's a big one. And me telling people like my favorite band and my influences, which is like literally like I'd say 75% of the duration of all these podcasts have just been me talking about how much I love Green Day. That's been
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Green Day album?
The new one.
Insomniac.
Insomniac.
Yes.
That's a good choice.
Yes.
I think Kerplunk, Dookie, and Insomniac are like all in contention for my favorite
Okay.
one. Like
For me, it's like
I'm always like bouncing between.
I would say Insomniac, Nimrod, Warning for me.
That's also a solid streak. I just really fucking love Who Wrote Holden Caulfield. That's like one of my
Yeah,
favorite songs ever written.
There's definitely some gems on those early Lookout records for sure.
Yeah, I like even the stuff before where they kind of sound like Husker Dewey, or like replacements a little bit.
I'm honestly
you know?
like for like a die-hard Green Day fan, like die-hard, like they're like my number one forever, my first number one, my last number one probably. I actually am not as familiar with the pre-Dookie era as I should be. I'm sure the time will come when it
sense because they're like one of the few bands that got like more aggressive once they signed to a major label, at least for like
crazy,
a couple
right?
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insomniac, I was talking about this with probably 6 other people too in the past couple days, but Insomniac, the guitars on that record, they like are produced like metal guitars. It's really interesting. It sounds like a hard rock record. I really like the sound of that record.
A lot of people say like Brain Stew is the hardest song, but like Babs' Uvula Who goes fucking hard.
I mean,
Like,
Jaded is a straight up punk song. Like Jaded is not a pop punk song. That is a punk song, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like they don't have that many. They're a pop punk band through and through. I feel like they probably have like less than like 10 like DBD punk songs, you know?
Oh yeah. Then Nimrod has like
Nimrod has
crazy songs.
Yeah.
Take Back and Platypus.
Take Back, Platypus, and Reject are all punk as fuck. There's St. Jimmy. St. Jimmy's pretty punk.
Letter Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's got to be one on Doogie, right?
Dookie's got like that 3-song run near the end of Coming Clean.
Oh, in the end.
Yeah,
That's a punk
in the
song.
end,
Yeah.
and Enemy of Sleepus too, sure.
Yes. Yeah.
End
True.
of FOD. Yo, this is a Green Day fan podcast right now.
I want to keep doing Green Day fan podcasts forever.
This is why I like our podcast because we don't ask you shit about we just ask you to talk shit about other bands.
Fuck my band. Green Day exists. Why the fuck would we be talking about P Daddy?
Green Day's the one on an album cycle.
What?
They're on an album cycle.
They are. And honestly, you want to know a hot take? I don't hate the album. I don't hate it.
Do I need to listen to it?
Definitely don't need to. That's going too far.
But like,
I
is it
just
like
don't
so
hate
bad or so entertaining or something?
It's not bad. It's like the worst thing about it are the lyrics. Like the lyrics are definitely like hard to get past. Like they're really like, you can tell they're like, we're dated punks and we're trying to be like hard and dangerous and rock and roll now,
Yeah.
But once you get past that, I feel like there's like, I'd say like 7 out of the 10 or 11 choruses on that record are like the coolest, most interesting things they've done in 10 years, like since 21st Century Breakdown.
That's good.
Yo, can I give you actually a sneaky take?
Yeah.
Because I don't like the record, but that's besides the point.
What record? The new one?
The new one, yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's 26 minutes long, and the artwork is literally just like a fucked up version of the American Idiot artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel, just given like the comments they've been saying lately, that they released this album as kind of like a fuck you, just to get out of their contract with Reprise.
Yeah.
And
Are they
they're
out,
gonna-
is this their last record with the Reprise? Is that true?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
I
and I think
actually know
they're gonna go to Billy Joe's label Adeline probably,
Adeline, right.
and yeah,
Interesting.
and
Okay.
drop like a real record. That's my tinfoil hat theory.
Honestly, that makes me like, even as someone who doesn't hate the record, that makes me respect it even more. Not gonna lie to you, if that's true. I
Word.
like that. I like fucking over major labels. That's a cool concept. I'll probably never have the chance to
100%.
do that, but that's cool.
Yo, honestly, mad props to Green Day, because like a lot of punk bands, once they sign to major labels, are just like fuck you to the old scene, especially like how badly like the scene treated Green Day. They had every right to do that,
Right,
but they've
yeah.
always like shown love to Gilman. And
Oh, 100%.
like-
They play to this day. They play there. Like my California friends have like been front row to a Gilman Green Day show like in the past like 2 years, which is
There
crazy
was-
to me. Like there's no barricades.
was-
Like there's people stage diving and shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They did that
There
thing
was
where
it-
they sent the kid that threw that Denny's show like a bunch of
Yes.
money too.
Oh,
Yes, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, I think Green Day, they're one of the few of like the childhood, like the common childhood idols that like never really made a huge like laughable, regrettable, like they never became like cringeworthy. Like sure, their records, like their music became of less quality, but I feel like I can still like
well,
I can still speak
there
to
was-
Green Day and be and like not be embarrassed. Whereas like a band like Weezer, it's like I try to hide the fact that I like Weezer. You know,
there was that fucking ad they put up for this record.
The
that was,
billboard?
like-
Yeah.
It
yeah.
was like no Swedish songwriters, no
Yeah.
trap beats. Pure
If that's
uncut
the
rock
worst
roll.
thing that your like 55-year-old hero has done, you know, that's a pretty good streak.
Yeah.
Yes, it sucks. Sure, I agree, but like that's not like that's not a cancelable offense in my opinion. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Mm-mm.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just-
It
that's just
sucks.
them
Like
saying-
I wish it didn't happen, but whatever.
should we move into the records?
Well,
I'm like
Ellie,
this Green Day
where were
topic.
you in 2018?
Where was I in 2018? I was doing this fucking podcast, dude.
Yeah.
We like, I moved from Las Vegas to Austin mid 2018, like in July. I believe the first thing I did upon moving here was see Jawbreaker, which was like a life-changing experience for me. Second favorite concert I've been to. I say concert because it was like a fucking concert. It was like outside. It wasn't a show. There was like, it was like a kind of like this place where you'd expect to see like an outdoor showing of like an art film. They didn't play the encore. That was the only thing. That was the only thing holding it back. And yeah, I feel like 2018 is really just like the start of the trajectory to where I am now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
It was a pretty easy year. I think I said yes to a million things that year. Like I joined 2 bands in a week.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
Sunk a lot of time into this podcast, so that was fun. And I just went to like every show I could that year. There were a lot of good shows that year. In terms of like scene things, I think the scene went back to being extremely DIY that year, and that
Yeah, big time. Big time.
And I think on my local level, like Madison DIY got really good in 2018 and is still pretty good because of that year with like a lot of the groundwork of like some venues popping up and shit. So 2018 gets the thumbs up from me.
I'm going to be able to differentiate the voices, I think, now. I'm starting to realize it's starting to click with me who's who here. Go on, my bad.
That's so glad. I would love to be able to say, like, that'd be like my top 10 accomplishments, like, of the past 2 years, to be able to say Kory remembers me. I would be so happy.
I mean, here I am remembering you.
So the winner of 2018, as we have teased and talked about already, is Foxing Near My God. I'll just rattle off some things from my experience with this. I did not listen to this record in 2018 because people were talking about it so much that I was like, y'all put way too high of a bar. I need to like let y'all talk about this, and I'll like pick it up next year. And then I listened to it like last year for the first time and really got into it. I think Grand Paradise is one of the best openers in any emo album, maybe. I mean, actually, the next record we're going to talk about is probably has a better opener, but the whole fucking, just like the pseudo drop breakdown on Grand Paradise is like an incredible moment.
Agreed.
And then they did the Tiny Desk, was that last year, where they just kind of like Bruce Hornsby'd the whole album, and I was like, I don't know if I like this, but it's cool. And it's cool that these songs can like sound so different live, because they played their first show in Wisconsin or something last year, and like everything sounded different, but then in like that Tiny Desk session setting, it was completely different as well. So from the stance of songwriting, incredible, impeccable. Is it emo? No, it has more to do with fucking TV on the radio and fucking blog rock of the early 2000s than it has to do with indie or emo. But I don't know, that's what they want to be doing, and they're doing it. So
and they're good at it.
Yeah,
and
that's what's surprising.
At it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think that record was pretty impressive to me, honestly, on that front. Like, expecting an emo record, listening to that record, expecting an emo record, I was like, oh, okay, you can do this, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened with me with this record is that I went into full contrarian mode, which I am wont to do sometimes. The more I've revisited this record, the more I've just concluded that it's really well done. It's just not in my lane, you know?
Right.
Like,
it happens.
The songwriting is like genuinely very well put together for what it wants to be. I've always been into emo for like a certain kind of catharsis and aggression, and just on those merits, I know that Near My God isn't even like really trying to be emo, but you know, like with the past work that this band has done, you walk into it like with that baggage, and so maybe it was also like the past expectations weighing on it as well, even though I wouldn't even have called myself like a huge Foxing fan. But at the end of the day, like I will say that when people are talking about like big rock albums of the 2010s, Near My God's probably going to come up in conversations.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think it definitely like broke a lot of people's brains when I heard it, because like, I mean, though like something like Rory isn't that far away from Near My God, but like,
really, you don't think so?
I think it's very far away.
Yeah,
you think it's very, very far away?
I would say, like very, like significantly, polarizingly, almost. Honestly,
not to the point where it's. Sorry, go ahead, Kory.
No, you go on. You're good.
I was gonna say not to the point where it's a whole new band, but to the point where if you didn't chart the progression in between Rory and Near My God. Yeah. Like, if you just put those two songs next to each other, you'd be like, what the fuck happened?
Right. True.
Maybe I'm being a little optimistic on that then. But, I mean, like, yeah, but, like, I don't think a lot of like Tumblr emo kids had heard anything like Near My God before, and I think that's interesting because it's like,
Yeah, I feel like the Rory era was Tumblr, and then Near My God was like the Blogspot era repackaged for the Instagram era.
yeah.
Sometimes I
Word.
wonder, like, sometimes I think to myself, I really have no idea, like, what their influences were for that record. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, what does this even sound like? I can't really.
Yo,
Like-
I'm fucking insane, but I heard Muse on this
Muse?
record.
Okay, see, I wasn't that far off. I feel like there was, like, slight. No, I don't even, like, it's not even that I hear this on the record, but I hear this influence on the record, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like for some reason I hear, like, them listening to Radiohead on this record.
Yeah.
I could be hella far off. I could be so far off, but like for some reason I hear like, I don't know, like mid discography Radiohead in Near My God.
Kyle said TV on the radio, which fucking hit the nail on the head.
I don't really know that band, to be totally honest.
Or like, what's the other band? The one with the singer who died, the Canadian band.
Sparkle Horse.
No, not
I mean,
Sparkle Horse.
that I could honestly see too, though. Now that you bring it up, but I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know. I just it's that kind of like indie rock that like is repackaging like stadium rock tropes for like a more modern, aesthetically more discerning audience.
Okay, I don't disagree.
Canadian. I'm googling Canadian indie rock dead singer.
Dead.
It doesn't come up with anything. It comes up with a guy that looks like. Oh, are you talking about the Tragically Hip?
Tragically Hip.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar. Makes sense why I didn't know who you were talking about, huh?
It's like older
I guess
music
you're not.
though.
I guess
I feel
you're
like
not
that's someone my
Tragically Hip.
dad likes. That sounds like a band name that my dad likes. I could be wrong. I could be making shit up. But I think my dad likes the Tragically Hip. Is it the Tragically Hip?
Yeah.
The is the before the title?
Yep.
Okay, my dad probably likes them.
Because they have a the in the title. Is that why he likes them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his vibe. No, I'm just bullshit.
dad-
I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Does your dad like the?
The oh, he does. This is the day, right? Is that the
No,
They have that-
there's a band called the.
yeah, and they have their hit song is This is the Day.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
alright.
dad actually
thought-
showed me that song.
I thought you were saying today is the day. Which
No,
is
no,
like
no.
a whole fucking thing.
This is the Day by the is a wonderful song that my dad
Yeah.
So I
Hell
guess
yeah.
you know what? I do know exactly what I'm talking about. My dad loves the in band names. That's why he doesn't like us.
That's why he likes the E word.
The Hyena.
Oh, true. He does like us actually. He actually does like us. I'm just playing.
What if he changed your name to the Hyenas and their Prince Daddy?
My dad would have posters all over his wall.
Hell yeah.
Wait, hold, all right. Let me reference a former guest of this podcast talking about your house on
Christian
our
Holden.
podcast. Yes, Christian
Yes.
Holden was telling us that he thought that your parents were embezzling
front.
money. Yeah, drug front. That was it.
Yeah, I'm good at this podcast shit. I'm getting real good at this. I can guess what you're about to say. I like Christian. Christian's cool. They played my house a couple times. That's all I gotta say. I was a big Hotelier fan. I was a big Hotelier fan.
Okay, but I'm dying to know why Christian needed to tell us that he thought that your parents had a drug front. Like, what about it?
I have a very interesting living situation, to be totally honest. Like we as you can probably tell from the context clues, I used to throw shows in my parents' living room back in the day, and that's how I got started with all this. And it's not like in Albany proper. It's in like a little quote unquote suburb called Cohoes outside of Albany. So it's a really weird, like when people see like a national touring band going to Cohoes, New York, they're like, what the fuck? So then they show up here and it's, I mean, I would probably think it's a drug front too. It's like, we're like in, how do I describe this accurately? It's just a house. It's a big, it was called the Ice House. We call it the Ice House. That was the name of the venue because before refrigerators, it was where ice was stored. It was an actual ice house. It's like a historical building, but in the middle of this like weird. It's like we're literally located like on an alleyway. So like it's not a pretty place at all. But the house itself is pretty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like there's this huge contrast between like the location and the actual like architecture, and I feel like that itself was kind of just jarring. You know what I'm saying? For anyone, not like even for people attending the shows, they're like, "What am I doing right now? Like who's fucking rich ass parents' house am I at right now?" It was a very interesting situation. But yeah, that's why I think, just because nice looking house, not nice looking location. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I guess I was just like wondering, like, because they didn't say anything as to like why it seemed like a drug front. So I was just like, what could that mean? Like,
I would probably think it's a drug front, but he really just sells vacuums.
Your
True
father just sells vacuums?
My father,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Coolest man on the face of the earth.
Word. All right, so the winner was Near My God.
Shouts out, Dad.
So on to the big dogs, which comes with our first disqualified record from this whole decade. So the big dogs were albums that had a chance at winning, got like over like 12% of the votes. Near My God, I believe, won with 25% of the votes, and there was a big turnout at the polls for this one, folks. We had like over 800. So the top big dog goes to Awake But Still in Bed with their debut. What people see as low self-esteem is really just the way that other people see you. Did I get it?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, I'm a pro. Amazing record. I think this is between the Hotelier, Home Like No Place Is There, and 2018. I think this is my favorite one since that record.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was my favorite record of the year when we did the year-end list of 2018, and I think it is still my favorite record of 2018. I feel really blessed to have seen this band like 3 times, like as a full band, and then once Shannon just playing a solo acoustic show. I believe there is a video on Twitter of her playing Floor acoustically because I requested it, and then saying afterwards, I have to play Floor every time Ellie comes to the gig.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this record is not fun. It's just like a gut punch. Like just it feels like someone churning into your stomach for like 39 minutes straight, and I fucking love it. And also, I enjoy how grungy it is. Like when we had Shannon on, she was talking about like Alice in Chains' "Dirt" being an influence on this record, and I can kind of hear it just in like the way the album is like structured, like the song sequencing, and like the big choruses, and it's just been a really long time since we've had like a strong songwriter with like a strong central vision in emo that delivered like such focused material, you know. So I was just really impressed with that record.
Did someone mention like saying that did one of you say this was your favorite record since Home Is No Place Like There?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel that makes perfect sense to me. I feel like when I first listened to this record, the intro, I was like, damn, this kind of reminds me of the intro to that Hotelier record. Honestly, the intro to the Awake But Still in Bed record. I don't know why.
And
Also, a lot of the record reminds me of I get Glockamora vibes from a lot of the record. Like what's the full length Glockamora record?
Just Married.
Just Married.
Just Married. Yeah, like I feel like I hear a lot of that in certain guitar riffs and stuff.
Yeah. This the song Fathers also sounds like In Framing.
Yeah.
The song In Framing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real good record, stands on its own merits. I think maybe when we do like our little like post series redemption episodes, we should try and get Shannon on to do track by track of this record.
Yeah, I agree. So moving on to the disqualified record is Worst Party Ever's Japan, because we have a rule that you cannot like champion your record to win, and they tweeted vote, and they got tons of votes, and I think this would probably be a medium dog if it
Wait,
did.
really? Is that really a rule?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You can't tweet like go vote for us. You can do that?
Yes.
yeah, because
No.
Interesting.
Not allowed.
it like
Okay.
instantly turns the polls.
You being on the other side of the polls, there's a noticeable difference when that happens.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
But
And also, every single band has more Twitter followers than us, you know. So
Okay.
it just
Right.
skews it.
so unless everybody tweets that, then it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
We have these episodes called the freshman class, where like bands that are a year or 2 years old, like people like vote for like what's your favorite like up and coming bands, and like we've had like a lot of problems with bands just like getting their friends to vote, and they're like bands that like truly no one has heard of,
Uh-huh.
and that kind
Got you.
of like
Okay.
fucks with it. So yeah, Worst Party Ever has been like really popping off. I feel like they're like, I don't know, like I can't think of like the new version of a band that they are. I don't know, like a new Front Bottoms. I don't know, because like it seems like there's a lot of like
That's a brutal description.
I know because of what the Front Bottoms are now, but like there seems like to be like a very
You
ravenous.
mean what the front bottoms are now? You mean rich?
Yes. I don't like.
That's a positive thing.
There's a very young, eager fan base that like is extremely dedicated and won't tolerate any other opinion besides Worst Party Ever fucking rules.
There's a similar film. I feel like Origami Angels, another band like that, where it's like you there are people who are like, if you don't like this band, then I fucking hate you.
I'm one of them. I'm one of those.
I like that
Origami Angel
attitude.
fans.
I like that attitude, honestly. Even if I don't like the band, I like that attitude. But I do like the band, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Gami gang.
So Kyle, how would you describe the sound of Worst Party Ever?
I want to say some version of lo-fi. It's like lo-fi something, but I can't think of that second word.
Yeah, I remember, like, I believe the episode we did with Adam Yo, you were like, I listened to Worst Party Ever, and I felt like I was too old to be doing it. Like, I shouldn't have been.
Ellie, I'm trying to scrub that.
I get that. It just, like, this record's just not in any fashion. And I feel like Worst Party Ever are probably, like, real good people. Anytime I see them on social media, like, they just seem real wholesome. So I don't have like any shit to talk. But this record like really left me cold. I was surprised to see it like get this far up.
I had an observation that I meant to bring up with talking about Worst Party Ever. I feel like they were almost one of the last like our emo bands, because I feel like that's where they blew up, and now bands are blowing up in like Facebook groups and or Twitter and stuff like that. But I feel like they were one of the last that like kind of picked up traction right on our emo.
I don't know, maybe Jail Socks and Good Sleepy.
Is Good Sleepy a big band now?
They're getting bigger. They're on their way. Not as big as Jail Socks though.
Yeah. A surprising big dog was Me Without You and their Untitled record.
Do you think this got traction because of like the Me Without You tour that they're doing with Thrice right now? Like that people just like were reminded of their existence and were like, oh yeah, Me Without You is actually really good.
There's a lot of surprising turnouts on this year for like voting and such. But I just wouldn't assume people that listen to this podcast like Me Without You so much that this was their one vote like goes to them, you know?
I mean, this is a really fucking good record.
Yeah. It's surprisingly really good.
I've ever heard a single Me Without You song. I don't even know what it sounds like.
You gotta start with the album Catch for Us the Foxes. If you like La Dispute,
I don't.
Oh, okay. I feel like you can still dig Me Without You even if you don't like La Dispute. I just feel like that's kind of like
kind of stuff.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes spoken wordy. I feel like Aaron Wise kind of has he has more of like a sassy kind of hardcore driven delivery than Jordan
a band
Drucker.
that people compare to La Dispute a lot that I like Touche Amore. Does it sound like that?
No.
A little bit.
A little,
I mean, I
you both had
I can
different
see
answers.
yeah. Touche Amore is definitely more in like the aggressive vein than Me Without You. Me Without You is a bit more contemplative
Got you.
and like
Okay.
snaky.
Do you like anything that's considered post-hardcore, Kory?
Yeah, I think so. Bear versus Shark is probably considered post-hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck
I like
yeah.
I like Bear vs. Shark a lot. I mean, Touche Amore is probably considered post-hardcore, right?
Yeah. You like
Yeah.
Fugazi?
I like Fugazi. Yeah. That's definitely not a term that I dismiss music for. Yeah. I like post-hardcore, I think. I'm not very good with genres, to be totally honest. But yeah, we just named like 4 bands that I like. So yes, I do.
Cool. Yeah. I think that there's a chance that you'll like that band then.
Right on.
Should we get in some medium dogs? There's some real good dogs in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. The first medium dog is Safe Face with their album Mercy. Was that their like second full length? Something like that?
I think the only thing they had before it was like a pretty long EP.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a full length.
Yeah.
I think Merci is the LP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Debut for Epitaph or something big like that, I believe.
Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah. Super, like, I don't know. This band is always fucking super catchy, super melodic. And
They got hooks.
Yeah, they have
hooks for days.
Major hooks.
I feel like the world needs a My Chem worship band. Honestly, we have all these other worship bands. Like we have like Weezer worship and stuff. I feel like we haven't gotten a My Chem worship band, and I feel like Safe Face is our Lord and Savior as on that front.
There's a small
Help us, Safe Face, your only hope.
There is a My Chem worship album in the Small Pups. Is there not?
Is there?
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
There is. Teaser.
Little bit.
But is it correct to say that this album's a little underrated?
I would 100% say so.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it came out, like I feel like it even went under my radar. Even being like someone who's like close friends with Tyler, I feel like I like didn't. It definitely flew under my radar, and then I started listening. I was like, "Fuck!" Like this should be like a monumental emo album, you know? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it seems very. Everything seems intentional on that record, if that makes sense.
I feel like it had a big burst like around the time it came out, and maybe Safe Face just kind of like didn't step on the gas hard enough, and so it seems kind of underrated in 2020. You know,
right?
I mean, they're also
I feel like they were going hard with touring. I feel like, weren't they? If I remember correctly.
I think it's. I mean, I would low-key hate to be on Epitaph because how can they prioritize when they're putting out an album every week? So,
no, I totally agree. I feel like Epitaph is like a huge part of it. Like they have that problem more than any label. I feel like where it's like some records are like come out and be like the biggest thing possible, and then some records will come out and like no one will even know they came out. Like I feel so bad for like I listen to like those Sidekicks records, and I'm like, dude, like these are like some of the best records I've ever heard in my life. Like how are they not like headlining huge venues right now? You know, especially being on Epitaph, where like bands do get to that point being on Epitaph. You know, but it just feels like they have their priorities already like set in their head regardless of the quality of the record, which I don't know if I fuck with that much, honestly.
I mean,
now we're getting into the shit talking.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people who probably would have liked this record a lot maybe wrote it off because it was on Epitaph.
Interesting. Elaborate.
I mean, Epitaph maybe now is starting to like come around again because they've always been really good at like identifying trends, and I feel like the trends right now are maybe a little stronger than they were a couple years ago. But Safe Face is a band that like doesn't quite fit in with, you know, fucking Falling in Reverse or whatever.
I think there's like a new wave of epitaph bands though that they do fit in with, like Remo Drive. I feel like they fit in like pretty well.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Sure. But like those bands, I almost feel like a lot of people who like those types of bands like are almost not even aware of the fact that they're on Epitaph.
Right.
That's what I would have argued with. Is like,
Yeah,
do you think?
And then an outlet like Pitchfork would have been like, "Oh, the fucking Falling in Reverse label put out this record. I don't want to review it." You know?
Right. True.
I want to say that no kid's picking up this record at the merch table and turning it around and being like, "Oh, what the fuck? This came on Epitaph? Fuck that."
Yeah, they see the little E.
But
yeah.
but like maybe they would have cared if they turned that record around and saw like the Counterintuitive logo or like
Run for Cover or something.
Run for Cover. Or,
Run for
Right.
Cover, big time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Got a lot more out of that one than I thought that we would have. Next one is Pool Kids with Music to Practice Safe Sex to. This one is a big, this is one of my favorites of the year, and I didn't really think of it as a favorite of that year until like last year, where this band really took off in a big bad way. They were the top of the freshman class of last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one fucking rocks. Still come back to it. Still sounds fresh every time I listen to it. And Pool Kids are on tour with like the Wonder Years or some shit now.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Off topic, but how fucking sick would it be if the Wonder Years Upsides 10-year anniversary tour had like the fucking Fireworks reunion on it? Like, how fucking dope would that be? Then all we need is like Man Overboard joining them doing like the 10-year anniversary of Real Talk, and then like Title Fight shows up as like an unannounced guest. All right, whatever. I'm like jerking myself off in my mind right now. Pool Kids, unreal fucking musicianship. Like,
Yeah.
mind
agree with
blowing.
that. I feel like there's not many people who can play their instruments as well as they could play their instruments in this little circle of music.
Mhm.
Honestly, I feel that's like one thing that like is kind of inarguable about that band. They are actually like phenomenal musicians.
And I think one of the real marks of like being like an extremely talented musician, and this goes for like another band like say Mover Shaker as well, is the ability to like branch off into a completely different genre and nail it, which Pool Kids did with like the Pool 7-inch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I love those are my two favorite Pool Kids songs.
Yeah, unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Like ruined my fucking life when I heard it.
Yeah, those are sick.
But yeah, Pool Kids, fucking unreal. Watching videos of them playing, the fact that the vocalist can play those fucking guitar lines and sing at the same time is like,
What the fuck is that about? How do you do that?
makes me feel fucking bad about myself and like what I've
Same.
accomplished.
Yo, same. How do you do that? I can play power chords. That's it. I make Cameron play the leads because I can't do it. How do you do all this twinkly shit and sing at the same time? Makes no sense to me.
Pool Kids, saviors of Twinkle. I'm calling it right now.
Have you ever played with them or anything like that, Kory? Are you buds?
Yeah. I don't think we've ever played with Pool Kids. Andy and Naya from that band is also in Dikembe, who we're really close with. And Nicolette, the bassist, was filling in for Mississippi when I toured with them. So I'm tight with those two, and the other two I am friends with. I'm not really tight with, but I definitely like them a lot as people. And I've seen them a few times, and I'm always very impressed. One time the drummer, I think Caden, is that his name? It was Max Seal and Pool Kids tour last year, and it was in a garage in Boston, and he climbed up this pole like 20 feet high for Max Seal's set, and I was like, dude, how are you doing that? Like, that in itself was impressive. I was like, damn, solid. You're healthy, man. Yeah, I like that band. I like everyone in that band a lot. They're very cool people.
Charmer, their debut, self-titled, full-length Charmer is a medium dog. I thought this would have been higher because, the kids go nuts for this band. I like this record a lot. Grew on me because I thought it was just very just like if someone was like, what does Twinkle in 2018 sound like? I could have like imagined this record, and this is what it would sound like. And but honestly, it gets me every time. I feel like this is like a sad boy record for sure. It's alternate tunings all over the place, but Topanga's a banger. I don't know. I feel like I could probably sing this album from start to finish because I listen to it a lot, and it's just completely serviceable emo in 2018.
Yeah, this one was a grower for me for sure. Like, I wasn't super into it the first time I heard it, but I, kept coming back to it just because you keep seeing the name. Like, I don't think people put enough stock in like how much Twitter saturation affects your want to listen to bands, but like you keep seeing the names and it just subliminally makes you want to listen to them a bit. Yeah, I feel this record. Just really workman-like emo. Solid and fun.
I don't think I've ever heard it, to be honest.
Huh.
Charmer? Is that what it is?
I feel like you would actually like this.
No Sleep Records band.
Okay. All right, Charmer. I'm writing it down in my notes.
We've got another heater, Golfer, Dog Bless. Man, I listened to this album like last winter. I think.
What was it?
Golfer, Dog Bless.
Oh, Golfer.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
This is Top Shelf Records. Yeah, I listened to this record like around like Christmas break, and I was like, fucking hell, this is like one of the best albums of the year. And I don't think I put it on my list or anything, but if I could retroactively put it on my list, this is one of my favorites of 2018 for sure. It had been such a long time since we got like the mathy, just like traditional math rock side of emo, and like this brought it back 100%. And I love it. I am itching for another Golfer record now.
Yeah, this is the type of album where, like, if you played it for me in 2013 and said this is going to come out on Top Shelf in 5 years, I would have been like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. Mm-hmm. Just, like, big, like, not necessarily, like, an update on the Top Shelf formula, but, like, a very polished version of it. Like, just ace songwriting and ace playing. Mm-hmm. And it's just really fun. Like, I think for me, like, a lot of like the math Twinkle shit falls flat because it doesn't seem like fun to jam to, but Dog Bless like bypasses that, and it's just kind of like a bumper.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really get into the super mathy stuff, but I feel like Golfer is that one exception for me. We played with them, and I was definitely blown away. Not even like the musicianship like it is with Pool Kids. It's more like, how do you write this is what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like,
like
where's your mind at right now?
How does the brain work like this? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely impressed. I was like, damn, my brain definitely does not have the same paths and alleyways that yours does. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The last medium dog here is Camp Cope, How to Socialize and Make Friends. This one came out early 2018. I listened to this record for like a month. I was like, I like this a lot, but like I never want to listen to it again because it's like it's like almost too real. Like the content, like the opener.
I was gonna say it's anxiety inducing.
Yeah, it's like fucking. It's like watching a documentary about how shitty things are, and it's like, well, why the fuck would I want to watch that again? I just want to talk about it.
I get the same feeling listening to this album as I got when I watched Uncut Gems.
That makes me want to listen to this record, honestly.
Yeah. And like Georgia Mack just has like such acerbic, biting lyrics. Like I feel like getting on her bad side is just like an unlucky move.
Yeah.
Yeah, real solid record. I feel like there aren't a lot of bands working with that kind of guitar tone anymore. Not tinny. What's the word I'm looking for, Kyle?
I don't know. I play bass.
This clean sort of ringing guitar tone that reminds me of like 90s like lo-fi indie. I think the main difference is that 90s lo-fi indie used that guitar tone to be like cute, and Camp Cope uses that guitar tone to like lull you into a false sense of security before like just assaulting you. And also the bass lines on this record are unbelievable.
Yeah, they're fucked up.
Yeah. Kory, you haven't listened to this?
I have not. We're talking about Camp Cope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a band that I know for a fact I would like. You know,
Yeah.
It's one of those bands where like for some reason like the record just hasn't played at the right time for me, but I'm pretty confident that this is like in my wheelhouse. You know, I seen them once and I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely don't dislike this, but yeah, I am not familiar at all. Yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will. I've been falling behind with music for I guess 2 years because this is 2018. But yeah,
Ellie, did you check out Georgia's solo record?
I didn't. What's
either.
it sound like?
I didn't listen to it.
Never mind.
It was like a surprise release. Like it was like, hey, there's a full length out now. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
I didn't know until you said that. So yeah, I got to check it out.
We're on to Small Pups. These got like about between 15 and lower, and there's a lot of surprising ones in here because they're a lot of bigger names. We do start off with a small name, World's Greatest Dad, Get Well Soon. I think this is like the first major thing that they've put out. I've seen this band twice, and that's the most I've listened to them because I don't think I've checked out anything beyond like the music video that has Punk Rock Milo in it. But
Yeah.
a real treat to see live. High energy, catchy, hooky, lots of people singing along. It's good.
that's a good feeling. That'll make or break a show. If there's people singing along, in my opinion. I am a fan. I am not all too familiar, but I have listened to the record. I've seen them live. I've stayed at their house, and I am definitely a fan.
Atlanta, right? That's where they're from.
Yep.
Aside from Worst Party Ever, this is probably the record on this list that I think I have like the least to say about. It's cute. I probably would have more attachment to it if I'd seen them live, but I haven't. We probably have like some mutual friends via Atlanta, so we'll see. I'll give this record another listen sometime this week.
So we get to the record that is the My Chem record, Graduating Life, Grad Life. This has
I could have guessed that.
but
I
you
could have
didn't.
guessed that.
But you didn't.
I fucked up. I could have impressed y'all so much. It's like, yep, I looked at that list. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But
you fucked up, and we're Melissa, man. I'm sorry.
So this record is a trip from start to finish. I remember listening to it the first time and felt like it's kind of grating to listen to just because all the ups and downs.
Gabe's vocals.
Bart's vocals.
Bart's vocals. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I've gotten it right on other podcasts. But yeah, that's been my biggest roadblock with this record. What? Sorry.
That was just a funny name to accidentally say instead of Bart. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Grad Life is fucking sick. Bart's a phenomenal songwriter, right?
Yeah.
I think Bart is a great songwriter. I was just shown some demos of the new record, and it sounds fucking sick. True story. Do you like say anything?
Of course.
You'll like the new record then.
Oh, okay.
Grad Life, the LP is to My Chem as LP 3 is to Say Anything, or is to yeah. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, and I feel like he's really good at it. Like really good at it.
So Graduating Life is just turning into like an emo karaoke project. That's awesome.
except somehow better than the bands that they're
Yeah.
worshiping. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yo, I hesitate to say that any band is better than My Chem.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I guess maybe. Okay, you got me. He's better than Say Anything. I'll give you that much. A lot better.
Yeah, probably better than what Say Anything ended up evolving into for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
I still fuck with like, I like Is a Real Boy a lot, but I also still fuck with like pre Is a Real Boy, like the super lo-fi type shit.
What is it? Baseball or something? It's what it's called.
Baseball, also like the Majora Minora EP,
Oh, yeah.
and the Was a Real Boy like companion EP that they did. Yeah.
I have never listened to literally anything besides Is a Real Boy, but that being said, I am a big fan of that record. I feel like people.
Dina just got home and brought me some boba. Sorry,
That's
I
the
just thought I
second
should
time
tell
that's
you.
happened. You're just always
What
coming
happened?
home with some fucking boba tea. That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, this is shaping out to be a good night, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
I'm
Got
double
boba
fisting
tea.
boba tea.
I got some toasted coconut almonds I'm munching on over here.
Oh, word.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good for ourselves.
So, I want to ask, how the fuck did this turn out to be on the small pup section? Retirement party.
Nightlife record?
No, no. Retirement
true.
party. Somewhat literate. This should have been a medium,
Honestly.
dog. Honestly.
That was lower than I thought it was going to be as well when I saw that list.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm like a disappointed dad, and you listeners are my children. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? This album was really, like, it came out the gates kind of, like, I would almost say disappointing to me, but, like, I love this record. Like Shoulder It is one of the best songs of this year. Like, I don't know. I have just really grown into, like, really fucking with this record.
It's a great record.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great
I like this record a lot. I'm embarrassed to admit that every time I've had the chance to see Retirement Party, like I just and like something ends up like fucking me up, and I miss them. Like I get there like just after they play or as they're finishing.
I've only
Wait,
seen them in
Dina's saying-
Chicago.
Dina's
They
saying
are-
no.
very good live. They I feel like it sounds essentially identical to the record live.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally identical. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that band. That's a band that definitely holds their own.
They've been on a bunch of tours, or maybe the big one or something, but with you, right?
Oh yeah. I've probably done like 3 or 4 tours with them now. They're very close friends, and I think they're amazing. They have a new record coming out too.
I've seen that teased.
Yeah, it's being teased.
Truck Stop Casino. Is a big underrated song on that album. I think it's my favorite one on the album.
I would say it's up there in the top half for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I was wrong. You saw them with you, Kory.
You saw them with
August.
me?
Yeah,
Oh, this past tour.
yeah.
Right on. Hell yeah.
I was totally wrong. Yeah, they're good. They're real good.
With the Obsessives or Pictures of Vernon?
It was with the
trying to think.
Obsessives.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are good. They are very good.
Um,
That's another band that Jake was filling in for that you've seen. Jake was filling in on bass for Retirement Party on that tour.
All right, so we have 4 left on this list, and then we'll quick blast through some adjacent records. Pianos Becoming Teeth, Wait for Love. This doesn't surprise me where it's on this list. I think this is one of like the first albums we ever talked about on this podcast, because we were like, this band's kind of fallen off, but like it's still okay. And I think that's just what the listeners of this podcast think, is that they've fallen off.
That's another.
In
band.
general-
I don't think I've ever heard a song. I feel like they fall into that lot of dispute section of music. Am I right or am I
Yep.
wrong?
You're right.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
they're part of the wave, you know.
the
It's
Wave.
like
They're a Top Shelf Records band, right?
Click.
Top
I
Shelf,
making
then
that up?
Epitaph.
Top Shelf, then Epitaph.
Oh, they're
yeah.
on Epitaph right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
They put out like a very screamo album on Top Shelf.
Yeah. I feel like Pianos Become the Teeth has consistently underperformed this entire series.
I know.
And it's a bummer because their early shit is like some of the most like punishing and well produced
Yeah.
screamo of that era.
Yep.
They're big room indie now, right? That's the general consensus.
Big room indie.
I don't think they're big room though. I think they're like
Oh,
tiny size venue indie.
Really? I feel like I'm speaking out of my ass. So I don't know anything about this band, but I feel like when I hear that name, I definitely feel like I've been hearing it for a while, and like I feel like they're a big band. Are they not?
I don't think anymore.
it's weird thinking about like where the wave ended up, because Touche and La Dispute are still kind of like on top of the world, and Pianos Become the Teeth and Defeater are both still kind of plugging along in their own way. I mean, Defeater's latest shit is actually like some of the best stuff they've ever done. They're still like around the same level of popularity. I think maybe they kind of fell off after like the 2013 Apex. And then did Make Do and Mend like break up, or are they still around?
I can't speak on that.
I don't know.
Oh, well, that says all we need to know, right?
So the next one, Kory, I want to say this band maybe in your neck of the woods, California Cousins. Are they?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
they are
right?
my best friends in
Oh,
the world.
good.
Yes,
good.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Distant
yes.
Relatives came out this year. One of my
Yes.
favorites of this year. Just the guitar
Another
tones.
very underrated.
Yeah.
Another very underrated record.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't. Was this on the list that you sent me?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I really, really love this band a lot. This is one of the first bands we've ever toured with ever. Like
Yeah.
5 years ago.
This band fucking rules. This record fucking rules. So fucking danceable and hooky.
Yeah. Another band that's just kind of undeniably like fucked up with their instruments. Like
Yeah.
you can say
Yeah.
whatever you want. You can say whatever you want to say about them, but like if you try to argue like their talent, you're an idiot. Like this band is like absolutely fucking ridiculous. When I watch this band play, like every member, I don't even know who to look at because they're all doing some crazy ass different shit.
Question, Kory, did you ever
Yeah.
see the band they were in before California Cousins? Knife Culture.
Wasn't that
No.
like
think
an
that-
easycore band?
No, they were like straight up fucking hardcore.
Okay.
Jordan
Wow.
Jordan sent me like the demo that they did like with no vocals on it because they like ended up not being able to get a singer, but like it's fucking brutal. Like
Jordan is-
so good.
Going to be at my house in 2 days.
Fuck
Fun
yeah.
fact, by the time this podcast is out, Jordan's going to be at my house having a little slumber party. Is there recorded knife culture songs?
Like I said, I have a demo with no vocals that I could send to you.
There's nothing online?
No, nothing online. Or you could just ask Jordan to show it to you, I'm sure.
Damn, I don't know how I
but-
didn't know this.
Yeah, but it's not
like an
easy
idiot.
at all. It
I
sounds
feel like a bad friend.
it sounds like California Cousins, but heavy.
That's my vibe. California
Yeah.
Cousins kind of is heavy though,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, so imagine.
So just imagine.
Why isn't this band like gigantic? They fucking put in the time. They went on like a gigantic ass tour with this album.
Oh, yeah, they did. They put in the work for sure. It's crazy. They tour a lot. I couldn't tell you. I don't have an answer for that question. I wish I did. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
I think
That being
like
said, the label they're on, that's Chatterbot, right?
yeah.
I feel like they're killing it with releases. Like I feel like they're
Yeah.
another like really really reliable. Like if they're putting out a band and like putting up a band, then you like can at least know they're legit as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have grown to just trust Lex's judgment.
Absolutely.
Lex rules. Shout out Lex. We should get them
Yeah.
on the pod.
You really should.
Yep. Add it to the
Wonderful
list.
people. Add it to the list.
The next one here is Joyce Manor, $1 Million to Kill Me.
That's this love.
Yeah. I think I am very optimistic about this record. I like it more than anyone I've ever talked to.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way.
I am everyone you've ever talked to.
Yeah. Big Lie is like the best Joyce Manor song that's come out in like a couple albums, I think. I've seen them.
Dude, that's it for me too. Big Lie and Silly Games are like two huge Joyce Manor songs for me.
Silly Games,
Lie-
I am not behind Silly Games, but
Well,
Wildflowers
at least we
is
can
really
agree on
good.
Big
Yeah.
Lie. That song is like Joyce Manor. That's like peak Joyce Manor for me.
I've seen them on 2 shows behind this album, and I kind of just like respect how much that they love this album, because they were just like they like kept playing songs, be like, these are one of my favorite songs I've ever written. Here it is, and like I don't know,
They say that before they play the song.
yeah, and like
That's kind of a power move, right?
I felt that too, and
Yeah.
I can see the crowd like not giving a shit about them because they just want to hear Ashtray Petting Zoo and fucking
Right.
Constant Headache. But I was just like, oh man, I just really love the spot that they're in, and they're just making like soft punk.
Yeah, yeah. I would go as far as say it's soft enough to like not even call it punk. Like I feel
I
like
know.
Million Dollars to Kill Me is like kind of just a power pop record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel same with Cody actually. Honestly, I feel like those 2 records are just straight up power pop records,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really good at it. They're good at everything they do, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm a Joyce
They're-
Manor super fan. I've like really kind of come
Me
into
too.
that. Like
Me too.
like they played a song from a polyvinyl single, and I like absolutely lost my shit, and I was the only one that knew it.
What song is that?
It's NBTSA.
Yeah. I know. I'm not as familiar with that song, but that's cool. I remember really liking that song when it came out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a super fan too. That band is amazing.
What's your favorite Joyce Manor record, Kory?
Mine. This is funny because this is another question that's came up in the past 16
Oh,
podcasts
Jesus.
that I've done. No, but I like answering it though because I am a super fan. I think they're one of the few bands that I don't even know. Like I think they just release like really, really good records one after another. Like I don't think like I wouldn't call any Joyce Manor record a masterpiece, but I would call every single Joyce Manor record a great record. I think they're just a constantly reliable band that like regardless if they like release like a big high concept record, they're just gonna release at the very least like 10 great songs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're one of those bands for me.
My favorite is Of All Things I Will Soon Grow Tired.
That's the one I've been leaning towards lately, honestly. Yeah.
I love that record, and that's why I can't forgive them for writing the lyric "I'm sick to my cyber soul" on this album.
Is that
Online
the
friends.
Friends We Met Online?
Yeah,
Friends
friends
We
we
Met
met
That online.
That's
Yeah.
definitely one of the few songs that I put in the not reliable category. There's like probably like 3 Joyce Manor songs throughout their career that I'm like, okay, maybe my idea of this band isn't holding up, but you know, 3 songs out of 5 albums, that's pretty solid still.
Mhm.
That's very solid.
I'm almost positive I've told this story before on this podcast, but I saw them with Touche Amore once, and they played real sloppy, real fast, and they played Orange Julius twice.
Was that a positive experience for you, or was that
It was
like you?
great. It was
Okay,
fucking
cool. Yeah,
great.
I was gonna say like that seems like something I would really enjoy a lot. I've seen that band. That's like, I have a funny story about that band actually. When I was like 14 or 15, they snuck me into one of their shows. Fun fact.
Oh, that's bad.
Huh.
Yeah, it was an 18+ show, and they let me load in their shit and told the bouncers and shit I was in Joyce Manor. That was like a really, really good memory for me. I'm definitely fanboying super hard right now, but like that was like pretty big for me as like a 14 or 15-year-old. Yeah, this was honestly probably around the time Of All Things was coming out. It
That's
was a
sick.
pop time. Yeah, absolutely. It was them. It was Algernon Cadwallader's last tour.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so without
That's so
them
sick.
sneaking me in, I would have never seen Algernon Cadwallader.
Incredible.
So good for you. Good for you, Barry.
So this one is the final one, and I kind of had to just put it on here because we wouldn't have talked about it either way, but it's one of the biggest emo albums of 2018, and I think the people that listen to this podcast and follow this podcast just kind of jumped ship on them for this, and Mom Jean's Puppy Love is a small pup.
Small pup.
To me, I think this album kind of improves on some things, but it also walks back some things that I liked about Best Buds. Like, I think the riffs, the guitar playing, and the production is obviously all better, but I think like lyrically it put a big distance between me and like connecting with it and just kind of thinking some of like the String of Consciousness lyrics.
You think the lyrics were pretty noticeably different from Best Buds to this?
I don't know if different, just like way more just like head scratching. Like to me, they aren't even as like lyrical as Best Buds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like that's one of the few things that I don't see a difference in the record. I feel like both records have pretty similar lyrical content, but I could be very wrong. But yeah, I think that I like that record a lot. I feel like for me, the one thing that it's missing that Best Buds had was like big giant choruses. Like I feel like that. Yeah, like Best Buds, I feel like that was like essential to that popping off, and I feel like Puppy Love was kind of lacking that. But I also feel like even though the world of art emo did not accept that, I feel like that was kind of an intentional thing, honestly, to write some through composed music.
I don't think that's true. This record blew the fuck up on our emo.
Did it really?
Big. Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
I
definitely was not aware.
Yeah, I really feel what Kyle was saying about like just not being able to like connect to the lyrics. Mainly because I don't eat Cheetos.
You don't eat Cheetos, bro?
I don't eat Cheetos.
What are you doing? What are you eating? What are you eating at night?
What am I eating? Pita chips.
Yo, you gotta get some Flamin' Hots. Seriously. We got some shit to discuss post rolling. All right.
I do eat hot and spicy Cheez-Its, if that makes up for it.
Oh, that's close. That's close enough.
I also only drink chocolate milk among friends. That's not. I don't drink chocolate milk alone. That's equivalent to drinking alcohol alone, in my opinion.
Dude, interesting opinions you have. Yeah, I guess no comment. I'm drinking chocolate milk alone right now.
You're not alone.
You're on a podcast.
You're with us.
In that case, I'm drinking alcohol alone right now too. Then I need to shut up. Go on.
Do you have a preference as to Best Buds over Puppy Love or vice versa?
Honestly, I don't think I do. I feel like they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. My favorite Mom Jean song does not come from either of them. I can tell you that.
Is your favorite Mom Jean song Shred Cruise?
It sure is.
That's 3 for 3 here. 3 for 3.
Yeah,
that song's a masterpiece.
I think that song is actually incredible. I love that song. Big fan.
My favorite Mom Jean song is though Scott Pilgrim vs. My GPA.
Another classic. I feel like Best Buds has like more of like the I feel like it's kind of more timeless in the sense that like it's kind of just like hooky and there's choruses and there's it's pretty verse chorusy, but which is great and that's not a complaint. But I feel like Puppy Love might be a little bit more up my alley, which is like kind of very manic, if that makes sense. Like there's like just it's like part instead of like A B A B A B. You know what I'm saying? It's just constant movement. It's just constantly moving, and I think that's a little bit more up what makes me interested in music.
Do you think that
will say? Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
I was gonna say, do you think Best Buds just kind of has that charm of just being this semi-sloppy, just discovered record that couldn't really have been made if Puppy Love came first or something?
Like right place, right time kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe, but I mean that like that, it's hard to say because like I feel like when that came out, bands like Jank and Modern Baseball were dissolving a little bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like that definitely did give them the upper hand a little bit, but I I try to think of a universe where those bands weren't dissolving, and I still see them. I still see those songs being like massive hits that with like, you know, them playing to massive crowds. You know, so it's hard to say for me.
Yeah.
I will say, I just want to throw this out there. Not for like any particular value judgment. I just thought this was really funny. When I saw Mom Jeans live, they played Scott Pilgrim versus My GPA, and after the line, "And I've given up on love," there were like these two like 15-year-old girls standing in front of me and Dina, and one of them turned to the other and said, "That's us."
That is a very Mom Jean story you just told right there.
Yes.
That is very on brand. That's funny. That's very funny. That's us. It me.
Reblog.
All right. Well, that brings us through the list, except for a couple of big adjacent records and some EPs that came out. I'm just going to blast through these. If you want to interject with anything, go for it. Drug Church, Cheer.
Yo, they're actually from. I'm interjecting. They're from. You know how I was saying how I don't live in Albany? I live in like this tiny ass weird ass suburb of Albany. They are from this tiny ass weird ass suburb of Albany. The one other band to ever come out of this area is from Cohoes, New York's Drug Church. Yeah. Fun fact. Same guys in Self Defense Family, but yeah. Okay,
Have you ever hung out with Patrick?
No. They were supposed to play my house once, and they dropped. And besides that, the only interaction I have with them is him talking shit on us in another podcast somewhere.
Which podcast?
Right?
Was it Axe to
Possible
Grind?
timeline?
Oh.
I don't know what it was like. I don't remember, honestly. This was like probably a year ago. But like, I get it.
He's got like 6 podcasts, so
What'd you say?
be hard to find. He's got like 6 podcasts, so it'd be hard to find.
Oh, was it his? For some reason, I just figured he was a guest on a podcast talking shit on us. Okay, got you. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Yeah, I don't hold it against him. I'd probably talk shit on us too.
I feel like
not in a petty way like that. I just mean like, I don't know, like he's definitely not into this kind of music. You know, you can tell by listening to his music that he would definitely not like Prince Daddy. I'm not surprised. That's all I'm saying.
I think I've said on this podcast before that like Prince Daddy, still is like one of the few bands that I never heard anyone say anything negative about. Like,
that's a lie.
No,
you were literally talking about Anthony Fantano in this group, in this chat.
Did Anthony Fantano review the album?
He does those like little he does like one video with like a bunch of mini ones. He did a mini one. It was honestly like it was a positive review, but he says you've definitely heard people talk shit about my voice.
No.
Don't butter me up right now. You've heard people say my voice sounds like shit.
No, I really haven't.
There is
I don't.
So I was hanging out with a semi-popular. They were signed to Tiny Engines, and there was someone in the band that was like just talking shit about every emo band.
You're gonna tell me who this is once we're stopped rolling.
Okay,
you know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And then like someone said Prince Daddy, and he's like, that band, it's the fucking best band. And I was like,
Can they?
Nope.
Signals Midwest.
No.
If I guess, will you say yes?
Yeah, but okay, yeah.
Strange Ranger.
No, but I'll say close.
Hair.
No.
Fuck. All right, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah, but like, just like this person was just talking shit after shit after shit, and then someone said Prince Daddy, and he lit up. He's like, "That's the best fucking band." I was like, "Okay, that like seals it." No one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Well,
I'm excited for this to end now, so I can know who this is.
This just
Not in a literal
Kory
way.
is excited for the podcast to
Not
end.
in a literal way. Not in a literal way. I'm playing.
But Drug Church Cheer was a
so-
big record in that like a lot of people that didn't think they had an amazing album in them like this were just blown away.
I was gonna say, Kyle, do you think we're like the two people in the Venn diagram of like big Prince Daddy fans and big Drug Church fans?
That's.
I feel like it should be bigger.
No. I feel I feel like Drug Church themselves hate us, but I feel like people who like Prince Daddy tend to like Drug Church. Like I feel like it's like by association. Like people who like Prince Daddy like Heart Attack Man. People who like Heart Attack Man like Gouge Away. People who like Gouge Away like Drug Church. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's like that Venn diagram is bigger than you're making it out to be. I think people who like Prince Daddy like Drug Church, but not all people who like Drug Church like Prince Daddy.
Well, that makes sense because I do think Drug Church has that contingent of like both like snarky hipsters who think they're like
better than everyone
above.
Else. Yes, yeah,
100%. And also like old hardcore dudes who would be like Piss Daddy and the Vagina. I've never heard of that band.
I literally know like 5 of those people from Albany.
Yeah. So Drug Church tier. So don't get me wrong, because I fucking love Paul Walker and I love Hit Your Head, but just given the single that we've heard from the new Drug Church record, I think Cheer is probably going to be their masterpiece.
Definitely.
Like, that's going to be the one that goes down.
I heard the new single, but I think I would potentially agree with you, just based on listening to that record.
I mean, nothing else they could ever write would make like the riff from Weed Pin seem any worse. Like, that is just a perfect fucking riff.
There's not enough bands that sound like that band, honestly. Right. I feel like I could deal with so many more bands of that style, you know?
Kyle, you called them like Pixies core. That makes perfect sense.
I call them Pixies core, but also like fucking...
They're a little heavier than that, though.
Yeah, but there's also something... There's something like Hold Steady-esque in the way that Patrick sings in that band too, though.
Damn, I thought of that before right now, but I could totally see that.
Yeah. So this is a shout out to anyone who likes Drug Church and anyone who listens to this podcast who also listens to Hold Steady. Listen to fucking Single Mothers.
Yeah, that's a good band. Yeah, that's a great band.
Yeah. You know, actually, my favorite thing to think about that band is, I love that band. First of all, I think their songs are so sick, and I agree that how you just described them is people who like Drug Church will like Single Mothers. But Jordan from California Cousins actually once said to me, he's like, we were listening to Single Mothers, and he goes, "Damn, these are good songs, but this guy seems like he's probably a bad boyfriend, huh?" and I was like, okay, yeah, now that you bring it up, this guy seems like kind of a bad boyfriend. Yes, 100%. That made me laugh so hard. That stuck with me. I can't think of anything else besides that when I listen to them now. I'm like, yeah, this guy probably sucks as a partner. Fuck.
Drew Thompson, you're getting called out. She's all like, blah, 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 something about McSweeney's.
I'm so mad that that's so buried in this episode at the end, because I want everyone to hear that. I want everyone to hear that.
He said that stuck with me. I was like, oh my god, like that is so true. He seems like a kind of a dick, maybe, you know? Yeah. But he writes good songs. He writes great songs.
Yeah. It probably says bad things about me that I like really relate to some of his lyrics, especially Marbles, which like
that's a great thing to say after we're saying how terrible of a boyfriend he is.
I feel like I
really identify with him.
Yeah. I was going to talk about the song Marbles specifically because like as an English major, you just meet so many fucking people who are like the epitome of both the characters in that song. And I do feel like a lot of like what makes his lyrics like, if not redeemable, then like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like it softens the blow of them, is that they're also very self-deprecating. Like that song, for example, ends with like at least I'm not incubated. Like he lets like the girl he's dissing get the last line, and it's like a fucking like cutter, you know?
Self-aware at least.
Yeah. Self-aware piece of shit.
A self-aware piece of shit. It makes you a little less of a piece of shit if you know you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, it makes you maybe a little bit more appealing. I don't think it makes you less of a piece of shit. You still gotta
I'm totally
put in the work. Yeah.
I am not being serious when I say that. Got that, listeners?
Nothing we say is ever sarcastic. I just want...
Honestly, yeah. Anything I said during this podcast, please don't listen to me. Delete this.
Okay, we are finally moving on.
No,
from
don't delete it. I'm playing. I'm playing again. Gotcha.
Y'all listening to Hop Along, Bark Your Head Off, Dog? That's a good record.
Big fan. That's honestly probably my favorite record besides Near My God that we've talked about on this podcast. So, yeah. I love that record.
Me too.
I love that band. I love everything that band's ever done.
I want to say it's probably tied for my favorite with Get Disowned.
Really? Painted Shut is notably not as good as those?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. No,
That's
Painted
actually
Shut's
weird
my
for me.
favorite one.
I think Painted Shut might be my favorite too.
I have never understood why Get Disowned wasn't people's favorites.
I mean, it was. I mean, when that came out, I feel like people were definitely like, holy shit, like this is the next big thing. I think, like, that's how I remember it, at least. I remember Tibetan Pop Stars, that single dropping before the record came out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, oh, okay, like this is happening.
Everyone loves Tibetan Pop Stars.
Yeah.
There's like fucking like, that song is so big that there's like karaoke versions of it on YouTube.
What?
Seriously? Are you making a joke? Or
I
is
don't want to hear
Oh,
anyone
I'm
else sing
serious.
that song, though.
Oh no, of course not, because Frances's vocals are just like unreal.
Essential.
Yeah.
She's one of those vocals where it's like, it's just another instrument. It's another instrument in the mix. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not even just like you can't replicate that. I feel the same with the sidekicks. Like you can't replicate that voice. It's just like it's as crucial to the band as anything else is.
Yeah. And importantly, I think Joe is like one of the most creative fucking guitarists.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I do want to like temper all the praise that I'm heaping on Hop Along right now by saying that I don't actually listen to them very much. Like when I do listen to them, I'm like, this is dope.
Right.
But I don't like return to them all that often.
I think I might be in a similar boat, honestly. Like I feel like I listen to them a lot less than I should based on how much I like them, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like I like them more than I listen to them.
Yeah.
So I should probably make a change in my life. You know, this was a very productive podcast for me.
Good.
I made some changes in my life. Started eating coconut almonds instead of dark chocolate almonds.
Oh, I have a bag of dark chocolate almonds in the pantry right now.
Oh, they're so good.
They're good.
I love dark
delicious.
chocolate almonds. Honestly, it's like dessert, you know?
Yes.
It's dessert that makes you sexy.
You have you ever watched that show Shrill?
What is it? Shrek? I've seen Shrek, yeah. I've seen Shrek 1, 2,
Shrill.
3.
The show Shrill on Hulu.
I'm just playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
There's just like this one scene where like the main character is talking to her mom who's on a diet, and she's like, I eat 12 almonds and it feels like I've had a whole meal.
Okay, that can't be true. She's bullshitting.
She's definitely bullshitting.
12
but actually,
almonds, that's not even... Wait, hold on. Let me check the serving size of these. 28 almonds is one serving size. And there's no way like half a serving size makes you feel like you've eaten a whole meal. That's bullshit. What kind of show? What kind of Shrek are you watching? Gotta be like Shrek 10. Did you know Donkey and Dragon? Did you know Donkey and Dragon had babies?
No.
It's fucked up.
Wait, did you say no? Because that actually did happen.
Why?
No, that's at that.
Is that like written in, or is that some fan fiction?
Yeah,
That literally happens.
It's a huge part of the canon.
I think I'm bullshitting, but I'm not.
Which one does that happen in? 4 or 5?
I think that happens like that might be like the after credit scene of 2.
Oh,
I think it's the after credit scene of 2. I could be wrong.
No, Kory, you are completely correct.
Right?
Okay.
The big reveal of the after credit scene in Shrek 1 is the karaoke I'm a Believer, and you find out that Donkey and Dragon are in love. And then the after credit scene of Shrek 2 is you finding out that they actually mated and had children, this donkey and this big giant dragon. And they have these little donkey dragon children that are flying around. There's like 8 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should keep talking about Shrek. This is fun.
The first 2 Shrek movies are so fucking good.
I think those are both like really, really amazing movies. Like those are on par with like the best Pixar movies in my opinion.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really a shame that like the formula that DreamWorks like kind of like invented with Shrek got like bastardized into like this weird like pop cultural wasteland of like Shark Tale.
There's no
You know,
other.
I was thinking
Dream, there's no other classic DreamWorks movies, are there? Like that's it.
Well, Kung Fu Panda.
Madagascar,
that's the
people
point.
might argue,
That's the
right?
point.
And
like
How to Train
Madagascar.
Your Dragon.
Was Ice Age DreamWorks?
I don't know. No, I think it was Fox.
Ice Age was a classic in my opinion. I think Ice Age was great.
Ice Age rules. Shout
Yeah,
out Dennis.
Ice Age.
Leary.
Shout out Ray Romano.
Right.
Shout out John Leguizamo.
Shout out. What's her name? Rusted Root. On the way. On the way. Shout out prehistoric mammals, man.
Yo, shout out Jack Black, who consistently turns in really good voiceover performances in animated movies. He's in Ice Age. I always forget about that.
What? Who is Jack Black in Ice Age?
He's one of the like the saber-tooth tiger gang.
Really?
Yeah, he's like the weird little nervous one, the neurotic one.
Damn, I actually didn't know that.
That's kind of like a
Yeah.
small bit role for that type of.
It is.
For
Well,
even Jack
I
Black.
believe that movie came out. That movie came out around the same time as like High Fidelity, so it was like pre, like School of Rock. It was before he
Really?
was like huge.
Ice
Yeah.
Age is that old? Damn.
Yeah, that is crazy to think about. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I was definitely a little tiny child when that movie came out. Same with Shrek, yo. I was too young to see Shrek. Like when Shrek came out, I was scared to see Shrek in the theaters. Honestly,
That's
I was like,
wild.
damn, he looks big and green. I probably should stay back on this one. You go without me. You go without me.
All right, are we moving on to the next one?
Yeah.
Shrek 3?
Puss in Boots.
I believe you mean Shrek 3rd, you poser.
Damn, you're actually right. This sucks. I'm going just playing. This doesn't suck.
All right. Just Friends, Nothing But Love.
Oh,
Ver-
damn. Why are these so low? Hop Along and Just Friends are this low?
These are adjacent
Well-
records. These weren't actually on
These
the
weren't
list.
even on the list.
Because they aren't
Yeah.
emo records. But they're like scene records, you know what I mean?
Okay. I'll work with you here. I'll work with you.
We're losing Kory at the end
You
here.
I just feel like there might have been a couple records on the actual list that were like emo records, right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Just Friends. I like that band a lot. They're not emo. You're right. Solid record, huh?
It was really fun to like watch this band put this record out and then like follow them on Instagram being like, dude, we're selling out like shows that we've like I don't know. This is like they were a band for like a couple years and then they put this out and then like I remember just
They
them
were
just
actually a band-
like kind of like blowing up in a weird
Yeah,
way.
absolutely. Yeah, well, they are, and it's really cool to see. They were a band before we were a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been playing music for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Rock to the Rhythm.
Yeah, that record's amazing. Yeah, I think that band deserves everything they have coming to them, which is a lot. I feel like that band is going to take over the world very quick.
There are two things that I really like about Just Friends. The first is that like that skit they did that's a parody of something I can't remember, like, but it is like directly making fun of something, and then they name drop Attack Attack, which is dope.
On the record,
Yeah,
talking about the little like the radio bits.
yeah, the radio.
Yeah.
skit. Yeah.
They play a P Daddy riff in that one. I remember that when they were recording
yeah.
it, they're like, yo, like we ripped y'all off as a gag in this, and I was like, hell yeah, baby. Maybe I'll find a way to rip y'all off next. And I did.
And
We have a Just Friends riff on LP3.
hell yeah. The other thing I really like about them is every time I see a picture of them all together, it looks like a grown-up reunion of Kids Next Door.
And have the beanies on. You're so right. Yeah, I totally see that. They are definitely a ragtag group of misfits.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like seeing pictures of them definitely makes you smile, for sure.
Yeah, we've talked about Mom Jeans, we've talked about Just Friends, but can we talk about Natural Flavor real quick?
So sick.
Go for it.
Honestly.
Natural flavor fucking rules. Do you think it's power violence, Kyle? You think it qualifies?
I feel like the way that they produced it, they tried really hard to, and I think that adds to like it.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I'd call it like a cleaner version of chain punk, you know?
Chain punk?
We're not even gonna get into that.
Yeah.
No, we have to.
No,
Come on, 10:30 at
no.
night, I'm drinking chocolate milk. We're getting into chain punk. Let's go. What's chain punk? What the hell is chain punk? I'm
Jesus
so curious.
Christ. So you're not familiar with like the chain punk versus egg punk meme?
Egg punk?
I've really opened a fucking
The
can of
Vampire
worms
Weekend
here.
song?
Y'all
sound insane right now.
All right, Kory, do you remember the band Hoax? Or if you were ever like into like hardcore?
I don't think I know them. Honestly.
They were that band that literally played a show in a cave. It kind of went viral.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
All right, so there was like this whole wave of bands back in like the early 2010s that kind of got tagged as mysterious guy hardcore, and because like they deliberately were like, we don't want you to know like the members who are in the band, and it was like just this dark like
were they
kind
wearing
of
masks and stuff too, like that kind of band?
Some of them. And it was like mystified and like semi-violent, and they all had names like Raw Nerve and Nazi Dust, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I feel like bands like that kind of evolved into chain punk, which is like just kind of like this crusty D-beat, very like punky, it's like dangly earring shit. You know?
Okay. Okay. All right. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what's egg punk?
Egg punk is kind of like that, but like replace all like the self-serious, like smug hipsterness with like this really affected, deliberately goofy hipsterness. Like it's like key hardcore bands that kind of channel Devo.
Interesting. Now, are any of these like actually like appealing? Like,
no.
They all suck.
The band Bib has some good riffs.
When you say like a hardcore band channeling Devo, like in my head that sounds kind of cool at least.
Yeah, there's a band that does do like hardcore doing Devo called Lurk, but I don't think they're egg punk because they like.
Are they good?
They're good. Yeah,
I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah, check out Lurk for sure. And then
Lurk?
this band
Lurk.
Yeah. And then there's this band Bib that like has some like solid riffs, but the vocalist like dresses like someone wrote like an article recently where they said like the vocalist of Bib dresses like Slater from Dazed and Confused, and that's perfect. Just like, and literally like they don't have lyrics. He just kind of like ad libs like like and drowns it in reverb.
I like some of that sometimes. I feel like this band, like Piss Jeans, does that a little bit sometimes. Like a lot of their choruses are like wah wah wah.
Yeah. So Bib are good. Gag are also like somewhere on the.
They're all just one syllable, nasty sounding words.
Oh, there's another band called
Gag. What are they?
The Dumpers. Lumpy and the Dumpers.
All these bands are like Midwest bands too.
Lumpy and the Dumpers suck though.
It sounds like they're all trying to sound as unappealing as possible by choosing these band names. Interesting concept, huh? I guess I kind of have a similar complex going on.
Okay,
I mean, not with my content. This is our band name.
Someone actually said
y'all hate
that.
Me.
Like,
I can tell y'all like, damn, this is the worst podcast we've ever done. I can't let this be over.
No, this is a really fun podcast actually, but like.
I'm having fun.
DMing me. So literally, this is why I was thinking about it. Someone was DMing me about Chain Punk and Egg Punk today, and they were like, "I know Prince Daddy and the Hyena is like a ridiculous band name, but Chain Punk and Egg Punk bands take the fucking cake. Like Lumpy and the Dumpers.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm the fuck on.
Dreamed of that name.
Yeah,
There's some cool band names out
think
there,
there's-
right? Yeah, man.
How did we go from just? Oh, it was Natural Flavor.
It was Shred.
Yeah. Hot take, but I think this next record should have been on the list, Kyle.
I do too. Well, okay. I might be having some trauma because I said Fiddlehead was my favorite emo album of the year so far, and you were like, Kyle, are you calling Fiddlehead emo?
Yeah, I've turned around because I feel like if some of these bands are on this list, then like Fiddlehead deserves to be on the list.
Yeah.
Like if Camp Cope qualifies, then
Yeah, that was one.
Fiddlehead
That's one that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
When I was like, I don't know if these bands consist of emo.
Especially because like Fiddlehead is like emotive hardcore. Like if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty of it,
Absolutely.
you know.
I don't know this band, but the way y'all are talking about it has me a little intrigued. I'm not gonna lie.
So Fiddlehead is Pat Flynn from Have Heart singing in this band. And then Alex Henry from Basement and Run for Cover plays guitar. And it's,
Super group of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
Have Heart drummer is in this band too.
Oh damn, I'm looking them up right now. Yeah, this seems kind of sick, huh? I should check this out.
It's a very somber record. But like
Yeah. It's about Pat Flynn's dad dying.
Yeah.
So if you're not like ready to think about like your
Okay.
dad dying, then maybe put it off for a second.
I'm gonna hold off on this one for a good 30 years, maybe.
it is an incredible record for sure though. And I see
Actually, I am intrigued. Yeah, for sure.
that they just got done recording LP2 with former guest Chris Teddy.
I'm trying to. The band name sounds uber familiar, like turbo familiar. Who do they tour with? Like, who are some bands that they?
So
What circle do they run in? Is my question, I guess.
So they definitely run in with like
Run for Cover bands?
No, well, see, they're like a part-time band because Patrick, the vocalist, is like a full-time history teacher. So they
Right.
like do weekend runs and festivals all the time, but they're definitely playing with hardcore bands more than anyone.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of Incendiary in that sense because I know Brandon from Incendiary is also a teacher.
Yeah.
I could definitely get down with that. Besides the whole, subject matter of the entire record.
Yeah, but I mean it's phenomenal. And the music it's recognizably descended from hardcore, but extremely accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that EP, the Get My Mind Right single is very catchy.
Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't realize that like the dude from Basement had this in him, you know?
Yeah.
I am not familiar with Basement. I think they're another one of those bands where I think I like them, but I don't know them enough to actually say I like them. They have a record called
Color Me in Kindness.
Is that orange? Is it an orange cover?
Yeah.
That came out. I remember when that came out. My girlfriend at the time was super into it, and she would play it all the time. And I was like, okay, I think I actually really like this. To be honest, is it kind of grungy? I'm trying to remember what it sounds like.
Yes.
Color Me in Kindness would be the record that most people would probably tell you to go to, but I prefer the debut. I Wish I Could Stay Here.
I remember that. I know exactly what that one is. I just never listened to it. It's got the cover like someone with a backpack, like leaning on a ledge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big Tumblr like GIF and stuff, right? Yeah. I remember when that was coming out too. I don't think I ever listened to it, so I don't have anything against it. But yeah, I definitely have listened to the Orange one, and it was like, damn, this is really fucking cool.
Big old Tumblr band for sure.
Tumblr bands are good, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. That's
Joyce Manor, good. Tiger's Jaw, good. Just saying.
My
good.
my Tumblr handle back in the day was Dislocated Tiger's Jaw.
That's pretty solid, honestly. I didn't have a Tumblr, but I had an AIM screen name, and it was Son of the Mask, 1996. I like the sequel to Jim Carrey's The Mask a lot when I was a kid. Yep.
So I deleted my old Tumblr just because like I went through like a period of like wanting to erase a lot of my online presence, but I will always regret like deleting that Tumblr because I made like an extremely popular post where I just posted a picture of Parker Cannon from The Story So Far without his shirt on and said more like Parker Canyon, am I right? Because of that weird dip in his chest.
What was the ratio on there as far as what's the equivalent to retweets and likes on Tumblr?
Notes.
Notes and reblogs, right?
Yeah, it was like.
What was the
like
ratio looking
30,000.
like on there?
It's
Whoa!
like 30,000 notes. Yeah.
Hello.
But it was body shaming. I can't get behind that anymore, right? It was a gag. It's okay. It was a bit. If it's a bit, it's okay.
Right, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
just like if you acknowledge you're a shitty person, you're not shitty anymore.
Yeah, we're fucking
Like
getting
single
it.
mothers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Snail Mail Lush, huge record.
Great record.
Yeah, it's a good one. Snail Mail was like totally a DIY band.
Their drummer played my house once.
I was about to say, every time I've seen them, the drummer has been repping like a DC hardcore band t-shirt.
Yeah. He was in a band
Yeah.
with members of the Obsessives like 6 years ago. It was called
tight.
Big Moth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played
Yeah.
my house once, and that's how I met the Obsessives. And now I'm really close to everyone. Yeah. Small world, huh?
That's awesome.
Big Moth
Big
is sick, right?
Big Moth is sick. Big Moth is playing My House by LCD Kory.
They are playing your house?
No, I was making an LCD sound system joke.
What does Big Moth sound like?
Okay, I see.
They were like of a wave.
Of a wave.
Like they were of the like a 2011 sort of wave. Like I hear like similarities to like High Tide Hotel and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like
For sure.
twinkly.
Yeah. Yeah.
On
very
the verge.
catchy.
It's on the verge of being twinkly.
Okay.
Yeah. More hooks than mathy, you know.
Yeah. More riffs than twinkles. Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Yeah. Snail Mail used to be DIY. They're Amazon core now, right?
Amazon Core. Y'all got some good names
Jeff
for
Bezos
shit.
score. Well, no, this was one of the bands that got like semi-canceled or whatever for being on that Amazon Fest, right?
I mean, they weren't.
Wait, is this a real thing?
There was like a festival that was backed by Amazon, and everyone got shit for playing it.
That was so stupid. Like,
That sounds pretty stupid. On it, like it's bad. Like it was like partially funded by Amazon or something. Is that what it was?
yeah,
It was straight up on
Dude,
the flyers. still,
Everything you
though.
do is partially funded by Amazon. Probably.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what like
Everyone is canceled.
we all know Amazon is evil, but
Yeah,
like
no
if you
shit.
if you were mad at Snail Mail or Japanese Breakfast for playing that fest, you're literally a cop, and I don't respect you.
Seriously, yeah. That's really like stretching. That's stretching for it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I definitely flew beyond me when that happened. How long ago was this?
like
Like a couple
4
months
months
ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That was 2019.
yeah.
Yeah, and it says a lot that we've all already forgotten about it because it was such a non-controversy.
Controversy.
A non-controversy.
Non-controversy.
Let's just end it here with a bunch of there's a mess of EPs that came out this year that were really good, but people don't vote for EPs on the list. Stars Hollow put out Happy Again, and Origami Angel put out probably 18 EPs. Commander Salamander put out some EPs. I don't remember what else, but doing the most from Origami Angel still has some of their best songs. Even
Doing the most hits.
yes, was this the year that the three-way split on Counterintuitive came out? The Now That's What I Call Music 420. I don't know if that came out that year.
No, it came out 2017.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun. I'll give you that much.
Like being on this podcast? Because we've
Yes,
been doing it for 2.5 hours.
No way.
No,
Really?
it's been less than 2. It's been less than 2 hours. It's been like an hour and 20
Damn.
minutes.
That's not true.
Wow. Y'all are good at this. Y'all are good at like.
It's literally been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, oops.
Dude.
I was like, it's 9:49. We started at 8.
8 Kory time.
8 Kory time.
Yeah.
Gotta take a piss. I gotta watch my nephew. I gotta take the dogs out. Get myself some chocolate milk and toasted coconut almonds. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Um,
I'm in podcast mode this week.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Kory, you're doing all these podcasts because you're about to go on tour. You're gonna go on the circus tour or something like that, right?
That's true. Yeah, you're not lying. Yeah.
You have earned yourself a plug, so tell us about it.
We're going on the circus tour. Prince Daddy, oh so, Just Friends, Max Seal, Sincere Engineer, playing the whole goddamn country. And you should come and sing some songs with us. Maybe listen to a record or two. I'm not going to stop you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for coming on.
I hope I did okay.
You did great.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I actually really, really enjoyed this episode.
Contrary to popular belief, I actually enjoyed this episode. That's what I just heard when you said that.
Well, I mean, I feel like literally everything I say should be like preceded by contrary to popular belief.